Country Mile was on David Amber and the day in the life of David Amber.
Did we do that?
Oh, yeah, we did it.
Sorry, I missed it.
And for those of you that don't have stills right now, this is David. David was answering the door at a hotel, and then they took him in the gym, and these are leg lifts.
I'm embarrassed of my body.
Look at these leg lifts. Oh, here's a closer look at the leg. Oh, look at the calves look amazing. Amazing. And I think push-ups were involved in this feature, David. And then they showed you kind of trying to get Corey Perry to notice you in the hallway.
Enough, Kipper.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Walking into a roast here. Oh, my
Hey,
goodness.
no. What was it? Now, I've always wanted to ask you, do you combine upper body with lower body?
I do. Kipper, well, let's get on the squat rack. I know you're trying to mock me here, but
No, I'm not mocking you. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to stay as fit as possible.
Buddy, you
It's
look
it only
amazing.
mentally keeps me sane.
I only do this because I'm incredibly jealous.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? That's
What are you
the
guys
only
doing?
reason. How are you?
Good. You guys have a good summer?
So, will you be tested for this season, or are you like the players now where you don't need physical testing anymore to start the season?
Drug testing? Or
No. Are you jacked? Are you ready to go here? Besides, your amazing pecs.
Yeah, you know what? I'm ready to go. I was, like Sammy, I was glued to the set last night watching the Jays and selfishly wanting them to win to sweep away the Yanks, and also very selfishly hoping they'd win so we'd have, double our audience tonight for Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. What can you do? It might be friends and family appointment viewing, but it is a really compelling doubleheader tonight in Toronto-Montreal. And there's so many storylines with both these teams. You talked about Winnipeg. We don't have Winnipeg on the air tonight, but we also have Edmonton, Calgary, and really excited to see, Dustin Wolf in his second year, how he's going to perform. And obviously we want to see what's going on with Edmonton, with the newly, minted situation with Connor McDavid. That all quiet downs now. So, listen, there's so many good things to see. And of course, we're going to see the Mitch Marner debut with Vegas tonight as well, another game we're keeping an eye on. So there's a lot going on, and let's get right at it. This preseason seems like it's gone on forever, hasn't it?
It's world record length. It is. And yes, thank you for joining us, Dave. Good to see you again, man. So you got Toronto-Montreal to start the season off. That's awfully exciting. I think all of us are looking forward to that. Two teams that both made playoffs and have high expectations going into the year. You are a perennial Canadian team booster, rooting for our Canadian teams. Where do you see Toronto and Montreal compared to their seasons last year heading into this?
Well, Toronto, we have to wait and see. I mean, Mitch Marner is a world-class player, and without him, how is their offense going to go? They were dead last in the league in goals by defensemen last year. They clearly need more from their back end to make up for the loss of Marner. The one thing I'll say, though, and talking to Craig Berube, is this feels a lot more like the type of team he likes to coach, and that's not a knock on Marner. Obviously, he'd love to have superstars there, but I mean, as you guys just pointed out, they're the biggest team in the NHL. 6'2", 210 is the average size of a player on their team. Yeah, the biggest team in the NHL, and maybe it just feels a little bit more like that 2019 St. Louis team that didn't have a bunch of superstars. It just had a bunch of blue-collar guys who could go to work. Yes, there's still Matthews and Nylander. And
who are world superstars?
What's that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they are superstars, and you're just wondering. So is it dump and chase for like 70%, 80% of the lineup, and then the Nylanders and the Matthews get to kind of east and west it up?
That's a great question, and I guess we're going to find out starting tonight. I mean, Craig Berube's been saying it's all about the process. I asked him what would success look like this year, and he says, I don't want to get caught up in going 2 rounds and all that. It's the process that matters, and doing the right things. He says, if we do the right things and learn to win games the right way, come April, come May, those are habits that just happen, and you don't have to worry about meltdowns in the 5th or 7th game or whatever. So, I think for him, he's all about getting guys to play to their limits and do what they're most comfortable doing. They add Roy, they add Joshua, right? Joshua, these are big-bodied guys. These are guys who will do, as you say, Kipper, some dump and chase and bang some bodies around. Their blue line stayed the same, and I think that's actually probably a pretty important thing. If there is a strength on this team, maybe you're going to say now, instead of saying it's the offensive top side of the Leafs, you might say it's the defense and the goaltending. We'll see what happens with Joseph Wall, but clearly if Stolars and Wall can come out and do what they did last year and both be really formidable, the Leafs might win games in a different way than they've won in the past. There won't be as many track meets and 5-4 games, but there'll be a lot more 3-2 and 2-1 games, and that might suit Craig Berube and his staff pretty well. So that's the storyline with the Leafs. We don't know what to expect because very few times you see a superstar leave a team in this fashion, really still at the peak of his prime. So what they're going to look like without Mitch Marner, we find out starting tonight. And if you listen to what the Leafs are saying, they feel there's more depth there and maybe some more versatility up and down the lineup, and that's going to have to be their strength.
You're watching and listening to David Amber, studio host of the NHL on Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada as well. Doubleheader, of course. We go right into the Oilers and the Calgary Flames. So let's just start with what you think that the Connor McDavid scenario has been put to bed, at least for the next couple of years. What we think, just your overall thoughts on the ripple effect that it will have moving forward here for the Oilers, and then ultimately what you thought of the deal and how underwhelming you found it.
Well, I mean, I think it speaks volumes to what Connor McDavid's all about. I know you guys talked about this on your show. I mean, he wants to win. He has shown his commitment to win, and he has made a sacrifice financially to allow Stan Bowman and that management staff to fill the lineup up with his best players possible to surround him with, to give him the best opportunity to win. The window is right now, though, for the Edmonton Oilers. I had a chance to sit down with Stan Bowman, and I said, this has got to be tough. You got to be probably the one team who comes into the season and it's Stanley Cup or bust. No one's going to say it's a great year we got to the final or it's a great year we got to the conference final. If the Leafs go 2 rounds and get into the 3rd round, I think people in Toronto, a large group of the fans will say, okay, they're going in the right direction. When you've been to the Stanley Cup final and lost the last 2 years, it's Stanley Cup or bust. And I think Connor McDavid really wanted to, accentuate that point by saying, I'm ready to make the sacrifices. I'm going to bring everything I can. I see this group around me. I trust this group. And when you look at the group, what did Stan Bowman do, guys? He got rid of 7 players. One thing they all have in common, they're all in their 30s. The Skinners, the Canes, the Perrys, the Arvidssons. They made a point of saying we need to get a little bit younger. And I know that sounds a little bit counterintuitive because last year they added all those guys. They added the Skinners and the Arvidssons. But I think they said, we ran out of gas a little bit. We looked a little bit slow